In the words of Galatians 6, bear each other's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. Galatians 6, a powerful chapter from the New Testament, offers profound teachings that serve as a guiding light in our lives. It brings forth the essence of compassion, unity, and mutual support, all of which are integral to building a harmonious society. The quote we just shared is an epitome of the spirit of Galatians 6. It speaks volumes about the importance of empathy, of standing by one another in times of hardship. It emphasizes the significance of helping each other, not out of obligation, but as a means of fulfilling Christ's law. Understanding the teachings of Galatians 6 can help us foster deeper connections, not just with those around us but also with ourselves. It encourages us to cultivate a spirit of selflessness, of understanding, and of love. As we delve into the teachings of Galatians 6, we invite you to open your hearts and minds to the wisdom it imparts. Consider the parable of the Good Samaritan, a story that perfectly illustrates the teachings of Galatians 6. This timeless tale unfolds on a dangerous road between Jerusalem and Jericho, where a man falls prey to robbers. Stripped of his possessions, left beaten and half dead, he lays helpless on the roadside. A priest happens upon the scene, but instead of offering help, he crosses the road, avoiding the injured man. Next, a Levite, another religious figure, stumbles upon the wounded man, yet like the priest, he too sidesteps the opportunity to help, leaving the man to his fate. Then a Samaritan, a man from a group despised by the Jews, comes across the man. Unlike the others, he doesn't ignore the wounded man. He's moved with compassion. He goes to him, bandages his wounds, pouring on oil and wine, symbols of healing and comfort in those days. He lifts the man onto his own beast, takes him to an inn, and cares for him. But the Samaritan's kindness doesn't end there. The next day he gives the innkeeper 2 denarii, about 2 days' wages, and promises to reimburse any additional costs upon his return. The Samaritan, without a second thought, puts himself out, bearing the burden of the injured man, fulfilling the law of Christ as mentioned in Galatians 6. The Samaritan's actions underscore the essence of the law of Christ, to bear each other's burdens. It's a call to action, a call to step out of our comfort zones, to extend our hands to those in need, to show compassion and kindness without expecting anything in return. Just as the Good Samaritan bears the burden of a stranger, we too are called to bear each other's burdens. His story serves as a reminder that love and compassion don't know boundaries of race, religion, or societal status. It's a call for us to not only recognize the pain and suffering around us, but to actively take steps to alleviate it, to bear one another's burdens, and in doing so, fulfill the law of Christ. Another story that resonates with the teachings of Galatians 6 is the story of Ruth and Naomi. Our story begins in the land of Moab, where a famine had driven Naomi and her family. Tragically, after some time, Naomi's husband and 2 sons die, leaving her alone with her 2 daughters-in-law, Ruth and Orpah. Heartbroken, Naomi decides to return to her homeland of Bethlehem, and she urges her daughters-in-law to return to their own mother's houses, to start anew. Orpah, although torn, decides to leave. But Ruth chooses a different path. She clings to Naomi and speaks words that have echoed through time. "Where you go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God." What a profound declaration of loyalty and love. Ruth could have chosen the easier path, to return to her own people, to the familiarity of her own land. Yet she chooses the uncertain path, the path of selflessness. She chooses to stay with her mother-in-law, to share in her sorrow, to bear her burdens. Ruth's decision wasn't just about loyalty, it was about compassion, about empathy, about bearing one another's burdens, a poignant embodiment of the teachings of Galatians 6. You see, Galatians 6 instructs us to bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. Ruth, in choosing to stay with Naomi, was doing exactly that. This decision wasn't without its challenges. Ruth and Naomi faced poverty and uncertainty in Bethlehem, but Ruth, with her unwavering faith, worked tirelessly in the fields, gleaning whatever she could for their sustenance. Her story is a testament to the power of love, loyalty, and shared burdens. In choosing to stay with Naomi, Ruth chose to bear her burdens, a decision that mirrors the teachings of Galatians 6. In the face of adversity, Ruth chose solidarity over comfort, compassion over convenience. And in doing so, she painted a beautiful picture of what it truly means to bear one another's burdens. Now, it's time to reflect on these teachings in our own lives. Imagine a time when you've had the opportunity to come alongside someone in their time of need, to lighten their load, to bear their burdens. Perhaps it was a friend going through a tough time, a family member in distress, or even a stranger on the street. As you walk down the path of memory, let the details of these instances wash over you. How did it feel to reach out and lend a helping hand? Was it uncomfortable, or did it come naturally to you? Did you feel a sense of empathy, a shared understanding of their struggle, or perhaps it was a feeling of compassion, a desire to alleviate their suffering? As you delve deeper into these memories, think about the lessons they taught you. Did they make you more aware of the struggles of others around you? Did they teach you about the power of kindness, the strength in unity, or the beauty of selflessness? The teachings of Galatians 6 are not just about helping others, but also about growing ourselves. As we bear each other's burdens, we are not only lightening their load, we are also strengthening our own capacity for empathy and compassion. We are learning to see beyond our own needs and desires, to understand and value the experiences of others. In these moments of reflection, we are called to become more like the Good Samaritan, who did not hesitate to help a stranger in need, or Ruth, who chose to stay with Naomi in her time of grief. These are not just stories, but lessons for us to apply in our own lives. As we journey through life, let us remember to look out for opportunities to bear the burdens of others, not just as acts of kindness, but as opportunities to grow and learn. Let us strive to become better individuals, and in doing so, create a more compassionate and understanding world. As we reflect on these experiences, we begin to understand the depth of Galatians 6. Galatians 6 is not just a chapter in the Bible, but a guide to living a fulfilling life. As we close this exploration of these profound teachings, I encourage you to take a moment, find a quiet corner, and read Galatians 6 for yourself. Immerse yourself in the words and let them resonate within you. As you read, you may find yourself reflecting on your own life experiences. Perhaps you'll identify with the Good Samaritan, or maybe you'll see a bit of Ruth and Naomi in your own relationships. These stories are not just ancient tales, they're timeless lessons about love, kindness, and the power of faith. But don't just keep these reflections to yourself. Sharing your thoughts can lead to enlightening discussions and deepen your understanding of these teachings. So why not share your reflections and experiences in the comments below? Your insights might just be the inspiration someone else needs to understand Galatians 6 in a new light, and it doesn't stop there. Take this conversation beyond the comments section. Discuss these teachings with your friends and family, perhaps over a meal, on a walk, or during a quiet evening at home. You'll be surprised at the different perspectives you'll hear and the depth of understanding you'll gain. Remember, Galatians 6 is not a solitary journey, it's a shared experience. It's about bearing each other's burdens, about sowing seeds of kindness and reaping the benefits of a life lived in love. It's about fulfilling the law of Christ together. So let's embark on this journey of discovery together. Let's learn from each other, support each other, and grow together. Because as you journey through the teachings of Galatians 6, remember, we're all in this together, bearing each other's burdens and fulfilling the law of Christ.